The biggest thing I hear with business owners, their biggest problem, can you guess what it seems to be? Maybe you can repeat it out, say it out loud. What's your biggest problem? Now, you might say leads, you might say marketing. For many years, that's what exactly I focused on myself. It was all about lead generation, paid ads. That was the reason why I couldn't grow my business. I spent a fortune on paid ads, like working with different marketing agencies, spending lots of money, testing things, putting together VSLs and all sorts of Facebook ads and even YouTube ads. But nothing was changing. And I couldn't understand why things weren't changing. I thought, I'm putting a lot of money into advertising, but why am I not winning? For many years, I was like so confused. Probably a good 18 to 24 months, I was so confused as I'm spending all this money, got myself into debt, and nothing was changing. Now, I'm going to break this down for you today, why your advertising campaigns may not be working. In fact, I had a client of mine, she recently joined me. Let me see if I can find her email. She joined me 10 days ago, right? So here's what she says. In just 8 days into working with you, Mindy, I was making 23% profit on my ad spend from the 1st to the 8th of May. From the 9th to the 16th, I've made 159% profit on my ad spend, meaning low ad spend, but 6.9 times better results. What the fuck, she says. This isn't an email. Her same funnel, same courses that she was selling, pretty much the same actions, but way more profits. This is wild. And she goes on to say, I know these numbers are tiny in your community, but it's exciting. And that's what she did in week 1. So she went up like from ad spend $1,500, right? Made 348 profit previous to working with me. Then guess what? She dropped her ad spend, right? She actually halved her ad spend, started spending $638, and the profit was $1,020. That's just crazy. So how can you actually explain that? And this person is a Facebook ad specialist, and she couldn't work out why. Now, we deal with a lot of people that actually do marketing, lead generation. They come to us for our help. Now, listen, think about this, right? If someone's doing lead generation, doing marketing, you'd expect that person to be able to get themselves solid leads, solid traffic, an abundance of like qualified prospects. But that's not always the case. And a lot of people get so confused by what's actually happening. So what I did with this client here is we didn't work on her, right? I didn't give her any advice around her Facebook ad strategy, right? Now, she's the expert, right? She probably knows more than I do. I didn't give her any advice about that. I didn't give her anything to do with her marketing campaigns, her target audience, nothing. All we did, this repeats itself over and over again. If you watch any of our case studies, and people will say, business owners will say that I didn't try anything different. I didn't do anything different apart from follow Mindy's exact steps, and I began winning. The same funnels, the same advertising campaigns. In fact, a lot of people don't touch their Facebook ads manager or YouTube, whatever channel they're on. But how does their traffic increase like what I just shared here? It's illogical, right? Cheaper traffic, spending less money, your traffic's cheap and attracting more clients. Because everything, you've heard this many, many times. We have a blueprint. We have our own blueprint. We have a success blueprint of ourselves. Now, right now, you're listening to this. You have your own blueprint about the type of person that you are, the type of results that you get, the type of clients that you track, the kind of money that you make on a month-to-month basis, what you kind of charge top end your clients and what you charge like the lowest you charge. You have an idea. And I remember when I first started out in my coaching, I was charging $3,000. Why? Because I wanted more. Of course I did, but I wasn't able to charge more. And every time I put my price up, I wasn't able to get the price. I wasn't able to attract those clients until I made these shifts, which I help my clients make. Now, this has been a game changer for me in my business. When I discovered what really is the cause behind business results, it blew my mind, because I remember working with one mentor, and his idea, he said to me, like, you know what you got to do? You've got to get 300 new unique visitors to your website every single day. That's the formula. That's what you got to focus on, right? There's lots of different theories out there, right? There's lots of different stuff going on out there. But really, think about this. If you're not programmed to be earning that 20, 50, or 100,000 a month, how do you expect something to change on the outside? We're focusing something on the outside. It's just like, imagine if you're a mechanic, or you went to the garage, you told the mechanic the problems that you're having with your car, and the mechanic turns around and says to you, like, you know what, just polish the outside, it'll fix itself, it'll start driving better. You'd think the guy's gone cuckoo. In fact, you'd be cuckoo if you actually followed the advice of this person. And this is what most business owners are doing. They're trying to polish something on the outside. They're trying to fix something on the outside that isn't even causing the problem in the first place. So unless you go fix the engine in the car and the parts that's broken, only then is something going to change. So this is we are built the exact same way. We have a blueprint that we're working on. We have an identity of who we are, how much money that we earn. Now, if that is congruent with you earning $10,000, I want you to think about how much money that you're earning. Whatever money that you're earning, that's exactly what you're programmed to earn. This is why your income doesn't go up regardless of how many more hours you work, how many different strategies you follow, how many different processes you implement. That's why your income stays the same, because you're not changing the area that causes your income to change. And this is baffling. This is mind-blowing. Just recently, I saw an advert from Russell Brunson. He's probably he's the top marketeer. Now, he's helped all the top online marketing specialists that you see, or people that are in the coaching industry, in the service industry, people that are really crushing it. He's the one that's really helped them through his funnels and stuff. But what he says, that is not all about the funnels. It's not all about the marketing. It's how you're subconsciously programmed. And he mentioned in one of his Facebook ads, Bob Proctor, and how advanced he was, how he really worked on like the paradigms, the inside. That's when the outside changes. And even him I want you to think about this. This is a guy, he's the number one guy in the world in this space, and he speaks about subconscious selling because he understands that success is an inside job. Right now, unless you're programmed for success, unless you truly believe that you can actually do that, right? Do the income that you want, you never do it. Right? Think about all the things, all the negative ideas that you have in your subconscious mind as a part of your identity, as a part of your money identity. Now, let's talk about identity for a moment. So you have an identity about yourself when it comes to the accumulation of wealth, when it comes to earning money, because you already know how far you can go. Now, you might say, well, Mindy, you know what? I believe I can be a millionaire. Right? Now, you've probably been believing that you can be a millionaire, you're going to hit your first 50, 100, 200K month. You might have been believing that for the past 10 years, but your results are not showing anything close. But you're just you're hanging on by a thread, hoping that, if I carry on doing this, right, if I carry on doing this over and over again, it's going to all change. But how does anything change if we don't change what's actually causing the results in the first place, like the program that we're running on? I'll give you a prime example. So my mum's got this old phone. You're probably thinking, Mindy, you're a millionaire, you can't buy your mum a phone. My mum's very comfortable with her iPhone 11 or whatever it is. And recently, the WhatsApp app stopped working on a phone. I think it's an iPhone 9 or whatever it is, right? 10, whatever. It might be a 6, I don't know. And her app stopped working. And she goes, look, go check this out because I can't keep in touch with my friends. I said, all right, let me have a look. So I looked on there, and the WhatsApp app said, we no longer support software below X, Y, and Z. I'm trying to update it. Then it says it's updated. So it's obviously a problem with the app, not the app, but the iOS software on the phone. So my dad takes my mum into a shop. They said, you know what, you need to get a newer phone. Then all these features will start working because it no longer supports. So your subconscious mind, your conditioning doesn't support you earning a bigger income. It's the same thing as a phone. So if you're trying to really bust your nuts, right, trying to earn that money, and you're trying to chase it, you're working away, you're grinding, you're getting frustrated, and you're trying to read lots of different things, try lots of different strategies, trying to implement AI and all that kind of stuff that's happening now, and you're not still able to do that, that's simply because your current version of yourself doesn't support a higher level of income. Now, when I really realized that this was a case, and when I start to see the shifts that I start making with the help of my mentor, with the exact steps that were laid out for me, I noticed that I started to support those high levels of income. Right now, I changed my iOS, right, my software, my Mindy software, to a much higher version. And then I was able to support those bigger numbers within my business. Now, you have this identity, whether you want to believe me or not. This is why so many people get caught up with the marketing, the sales scripts, and all the stuff on the outside, the fancy funnels, and you're moving on from one funnel to another trader, to another marketing company, to another expert guru about marketing. A new strategy's come out. You see that strategy working for other people. But when you try it for yourself, you hit your limitations. Then you think maybe it's that strategy that's not right. Maybe I need to go over to LinkedIn. Maybe I need to do a VSL. Maybe I need to do some paid ads on Bing or Google ads or some other form of advertising. Maybe I need to do that. And you're constantly in this cycle. I call it the strategy addiction loop. You're constantly focused on strategy. But we're focusing on the wrong area. We've got to really focus on our own program, what we're running on, all those beliefs. Now, your program is based upon different beliefs about yourself. Some people make lots of money, and by the end of the month, they're skint. And, you might have heard someone's parents, I don't know where the money goes. I don't know where the money goes. Where is she spending the money, or he spending the money? Where the money's going to go, it doesn't really matter where it goes. What's more important is how that particular person is programmed. Everybody in your family, everybody in your household, everybody that you've ever made love to, anybody that you know that you've spoken to has a money program. Everybody does. There's not one person that doesn't, right? Because we have this identity and different people have different identities. You look at someone who's constantly struggling, constantly trying to make ends meet, right? Trying to move money about at the end of the month. But, balance transfers from here to there, cash flow issues within their business, not able to pay their overheads. They're not even paying themselves. How many business owners are out there that don't even pay themselves? We've had so many conversations with people, applications coming in. You know what? The crazy thing is my staff are earning more than me. There's no money left for me after I paid everybody else. So what's the point in being in business if you can't pay yourself? You should be paying yourself first. Now, if you're not able to pay yourself like what you want to pay, all that simply means is that your current program, your version, your concept of yourself, the blueprint that you have of yourself, it doesn't match what you really want to attract. So unless you can start to tweak these areas, you're not going to be able to meet your overheads. We've had many clients come to us where they're just breaking even for past 5 years. They're just about breaking even, right? How much was your tax bill? I don't even make any profit to pay tax, right? You should be in profit. The whole purpose of being in a business is making a healthy profit, making cash flow, paying your bills, paying yourself, making sure you're paying your wages and have a surplus amount of money left over. Well, otherwise, what's the point? I was recently speaking to somebody, he's got some real estate letting agents and stuff. And he said, you know what? He actually earns about, I think, $2,500 a month and he works about 60 hours a week, right? So he said, my staff earn more than me. So I got out my calculator. I said, have you ever worked out what your hourly rate is? He said, no. So I calculated it out on how many hours overall he works in a month. And I said, you know what? Your hourly rate is under $9 an hour. And here in the UK, I think the minimum wage is well over $10 an hour. I said, so you've got this workforce, you've got a team of 10 or whatever, I can't remember how many people he said he had. You got all these overheads, all these bills, all these lease commitments, right? You got a business and you're actually making less than you would in a full-time job working in a supermarket. And I think the penny really dropped. We often don't see that, right? We often just see ourselves in the business, right? But if you're not paying yourself first, we've got a serious problem that you need to address. So it's kind of crazy, right? How this all works. And I often look at people and when I hear people complaining, moaning about money, talking about their results, I'm here, I want to get to there, but I don't know how to get to there. It's just a matter of time. Things will figure themselves out. They won't figure themselves out. You can't do the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. It just won't work that way, right? I'm staring into this camera right now. When we first bought it, we had to set it all up, right? When we're born, who sets us up for success? We get conditioned by our environment, all the stuff that we're hearing, what we're listening to over and over again, and you start to form this blueprint. It's a pattern, right? You start to develop this pattern in the way you think, the way you act, the way you behave, the way you conduct yourself, and you're just on an autopilot routine throughout life. Where have you been inside your auto routine? Let's look at you're on autopilot right now. You can set your clock by a lot of people. I'm going to the gym every morning. And I see, I travel quite far to go to the gym. And I'll see, one guy, he's always leaving the same time as me, right? He's always there in the same time. So we leave simultaneous times where we're our destination and we end up on the same train. So you can set the time, by looking at us. So you can set your clock by certain people because we're creatures of habit. We just do things habitually without actually really thinking why we're doing it. Have you ever stopped and really got a pen and paper out and looked at your income? Have you ever written your monthly income down or your annual income and ask yourself, hey, listen, I'm earning this much. Have you ever asked yourself how long you've actually been earning that level for? Have you actually sat down and done the exercise and really figured it out? Probably not. In your mind, you probably know roughly what you earn. The amount of business owners that we speak to that don't even know how much they earn. I said, well, how much do you earn each month? I don't really know. Well, why not? I haven't really worked out. Well, why not? Why haven't you worked out? Are you afraid of it? Are you afraid that you might be earning less than what you think you're earning? Or are you just caught up with so many things inside your business or outside of your business, but you fail to really acknowledge where your business is at? You need to gauge where your business is at. If you want to go to here, you've got to know exactly where you are, right? If you want to go from if you want to make your first million, you need to know where you're at right now and the gap between the two levels. So you need to do some work around that. I'd encourage you strongly to get a pen and paper today and just go back and look at the last 12 months and go check out how much money that you've earned each month. And then ask yourself, well, why am I really earning this amount of money? Obviously, you want to earn more money, right? So this is kind of cool. It really blows my mind when I first discovered this information and that we can actually change our income in the same business that's been struggling by changing something about us. When I first did this, I I saw my own income start to change. I was speaking to somebody yesterday, in fact, when I said like, one of my clients, he just bought his second Ferrari, and he wrote a goal on the goal card when he started working with me. He said, I own 458 in June, right? And he showed me the goal card, and he doesn't know how he ended up with this new Ferrari. It's a nice one that he wanted. I went out for a spin in it last night. It's a fabulous car. And he said, Mindy, I just don't know how this happened. I'm just like, oh, my mind is like going into overdrive. I don't see how this all happened, how this all came together in such a short space of time. I said, you know what? Right now, what you're experiencing, I experienced the same thing, and I still do. And I've seen this happen so many times because it's unexplainable. You can't explain the transition, that transformation that you've had, where you've gone from this and you've really had a quantum leap, and you've actually got a goal that you've had for a very long time, but it's happened really quick because it's those unconscious shifts that are happening that make that quantum leap happen. But listen, I've got something really, really cool that I want to share with you. I've had a lot of people over the years asking me, like, Mindy, can you put together something that I can use in my business? Now, we typically work with business owners that are more established, more advanced. So we've had so many requests over the years, like 4 or 5 years, we've been getting asked left, right, and center. And one of the reasons I didn't really put together like a course, a lower ticket course, or a lower investment level course, because what we do, we know what we do. To get results, you need to work on, you need to work for a period of time to get those big results that we help people get. So over the years, I'd have my mobile phone, I'd have my notes in there, and I always thought about putting together a course. One day I want to put together a course, but the battle I had internally was because I brought lots of different courses out there over the years, and I've seen lots of other people come to us and say, look, we brought this course, we brought that course, and nothing's happened. They've invested a lot of money. So a lot of the stuff out there is nonsense. A lot of these courses that I put out there, only one is they designed just for that person. Not everybody, right? Don't go hating me. I'm just not labeling everybody like this. There's some great courses out there, absolutely. But the majority of them, I'd probably say 80% of people when they create courses is for their own benefit, to line their own pockets up, to get well for themselves. And they just put something together, mishmash information. Some of the stuff's pre-recorded from different things they've done in the past. No real value to it. Nothing really thought through about it. And they go put that out to the open market. So people come along, buy these courses, spend their hard-earned money, hoping that this is going to change their life or get some results from it, and not much happens. And for that reason, I thought to myself, if I ever do something, I want to make sure whatever I do is going to be solid, and I want to give people real value, real actionable steps that's really going to help them. So what we've done, like for the past 6 months, we've been working behind the scenes on a project that we've been like thinking about for probably about 5 or 6 years. I went through my phone, checked out all my notes, all the things that I've been thinking about. If I was ever to do a course, I'd put this in there, I'd put that in there. So we scroll through all of my list, and we were masterminding inside our offices, our team behind the scenes, and really putting together something really special. So we're gonna make I think we just dropped the announcement that we've actually put together something insane, right? I've looked at all of my top clients, and I've looked at a lot of people that we've helped create some far successful. I'm like, right, what did I do with that person there? What did she do? What did he do? What did I do? So I compiled it all onto this massive, I've got this digital whiteboard. It's huge, right? We had page and page. So I wrote down different aspects that we worked on, different strategies. I'm not talking about marketing strategies. I'm talking about inner wealth creating strategies, like reprogramming your subconscious mind, changing that identity, and lots of other different actions that coincide with that. So what we did something really powerful. So we were mapping out for ages. We scrapped it 2 or 3 times and started over again. You're going to love this. If you're looking to, if you've been looking to work with me for quite some time, and maybe you're not there at the level where we require you to be to join our inner circle, we've put together something phenomenal. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're starting out. This is going to help you, right? If you're just a new startup, we don't work with startups inside our inner circle. Now, if you're already fairly established and you're making $500,000 a year, or maybe you're making $1 million plus a year, this is going to work for you wherever you are in your business. I've designed it in such a way with my team that it's applicable to any business owner. Now, this is only going to work for you if you're in a business. I want to be transparent. If you don't have a business, this isn't going to make any sense to you whatsoever. It's not going to be for you, right? So we've put together this transformation. I don't even want to call it a course, because it's way more than a course. This is to get you real results. Now, if I'm going to put my name on something, I want to make sure that whoever's going to use it is going to get value from this, right? Now, I don't want to put together something out there that is not going to be useful, is not going to help people get results, because you probably know that I'm all about results, right? Taking aggressive action. So we put together this amazing 28-day transformation course, and it's called the 28-day RAPID Quantum Wealth Accelerator. This is designed for you to smash it in your business, right? Let me say that again. The 28-day Rapid Quantum Wealth Accelerator. This is going to help you release so much more cash in your business and start taking those activities of high-level business people, right? And also like helping you really start to change that money identity. You know, I spoke about that money identity. So we're going to give actionable steps on a day-by-day basis, right? It's going to be insane. We got worksheets, we've got daily videos that you're going to be able to implement. And the fun fact is that I'm going to go through this same course that I put together myself, right? So I'm actually going to go through this and it's going to help me in my business as well. We're already at multi-seven figures. So can you imagine how powerful this is for somebody like me to actually go through this myself? And guess what? I put this together, right? So it's been done strategically. Lots of planning's gone into this. So if you're really ready for a rapid transformation and you want fast cash in your business, and listen, maybe you're one of those people that procrastinates a lot and you wake up in the mornings, you don't know which way to turn. Do I do this? Do I do that? You're being pulled in all sorts of different directions. This is going to give you absolute clarity. And this is going to be fun. It's going to be impactful and it's going to really be profitable for you as well. So if you're really ready to like unlock the potential in yourself and your business and start working on your inner self so you can actually start getting results on the outside, we're going to show you exactly how to do it. But there is one catch, right? Let me just say, I've got a couple of little notes here, right? Now, here's the thing. Now, if you want early access to this, right, you've got to go to go.mindypaul.com/quantum wealth. Now, there is one catch here, right? We are about to close the doors on this. So we just literally opened it up for a few days and we're about to close the cart on this. So we're going to be taking this off sale. So if you want access to this, if you've been thinking about working with me for some time, this is going to be a no-brainer, right? This isn't going to like cost you thousands and thousands and thousands of bucks. This is super, it's affordable for everyone, right? Everybody can afford to do this. This is going to be so powerful. And in fact, I'm really happy that we're actually producers. There's so much excitement in our offices because we've been having like, we've got a VIP waiting list going out there and people are just adding into that VIP list on a daily basis. We've got 50, 100 people coming in, more, probably over 200 people a day coming in that waiting list, right? Now, when we open the doors, it's only going to be open for a very short space of time and then we're going to close the doors, right? Now, you've got to take fast action. If you want fast results, you've got to take fast action. You've got to make fast decisions. Now, you do not want to miss this. Now, if you've been tuning into my podcast, you know that I'm all about getting real results. And I don't like to beat around the bush and do like long 45-minute, 1 hour, 2 hour podcasts. Time is valuable, right? Time is that's the only one thing that you can't replace. You can replace money. You can't replace time. So if you really want fast results, you've got to learn how to take fast action. Now, this is going to be a blueprint to creating inner wealth, outer wealth, and really having yourself lined up for the attraction of higher levels of money, higher income, more clients, and really like have a plan in your business. I'm not talking about a business plan where you go and do cash flow forecast and all that kind of boring stuff, right? That you do with your accountant. None of that. This is going to be fast-paced daily actions that are going to really propel your business to the moon and back, and it's real fast. Some of our elite clients have actually been implementing this, and some of them have made $9,000 in a week, some about $6,500 a week, $6,000 in a week, and this really works, right? This is just one strategy that we've got some of our clients to apply, and they've been like making $10,000 extra a week, like $6,000, $5,000, $7,000 extra a week just by one of these strategies that we're following. We've got some really cool strategies in here. Now, I'm not talking about marketing strategy and stuff. I'm talking about real like attraction strategies, really aligning your beliefs, your behaviors with the law of attraction and really quantify your results. So listen, go ahead once again, go.mindypaul.com/quantum wealth. This is going to be a game changer. I'm really excited. But listen, I do hope you check this out because this is going to be next level. You're going to thank yourself for listening to the podcast, right? There's so many people that are going to be out there. They're going to miss out on this because they're going to not take action fast enough. So I don't want you to be one of those people that don't take action. Listen, I finally listened to what you guys want and you girls want, right? I'm giving it to you. So no matter where you are in your business, remember, you could be early stage, you could be startup, you could be thinking about just you're on your first week in your business. You could be like a seasoned pro. You could be like 10 years into your business. You're all going to get some tremendous value from this and you're going to start to see some rapid cash flow in your business, right? It's all about creating some fast results in your business. 28 days. This is insane. You're going to love this. You're going to fall in love with your business again. Maybe you're falling out of love with your business. Everything's so repetitive. There's no excitement anymore. Everything's just dull. Everything's just boring. Everything's the same month in, month out. And you just lost hope. You've fallen out of love with your business. The passion's gone, right? The honeymoon period's over with your business. This is going to ignite that spark back in your life. Now, I know this is ignite the spark. I'm always sparking, right? But this is really ignite something inside of me because I know so many more people are going to benefit, right? In 28 days, right? Our minimum right now, our minimum investment you can get into our coaching is £20,000, right? As of now, what are we in 2025? And we're looking to increase our prices. But here's the thing, this is going to be a no-brainer. You want to go check this out. And the investment level for this is ridiculous. You're going to probably think, is that all it is? Is this a mistake? No, it's not a mistake. I'm giving you a gift. Go get it right now. Go check it out. Go check it out. Go check this out before we close the doors. And you don't want to be left out in the cold. I'm going to give it to you real cool. This is going to be fantastic. 28 days to fast cash in your business. Right, so listen, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. And remember, success is an inside job. It's not on the outside. It's not about the marketing. It's not about the funnels. It's not about the Facebook ads. Unless you're going to fix what we've been speaking about here, the outside's not going to change, right? The ads not going to work. The traffic's not going to work. The strategies that you're following are not going to work. Unless you're aligned for success, unless you're programmed for success, that's when things happen, right? So listen, thanks for listening. I'll see you soon. Take care.